Hey guys, welcome back to this week's video. And if you're new here, thanks for jumping in. Go for a little journey here and talk about a few of the tips and tricks that I've learned through the hard ways on our Model G 3950 Brinkley. What we wish we would have known when we picked it up from the dealer. If you don't know this, that a salesman who's selling you one of these doesn't typically always know all the things. So pretty, come buy it. Not to say that all of them are like that. There are some really phenomenal salesmen and dealers out there, and actually ours is really good. But you know, there's just a couple things that you just can't cover in that couple hours you get with them. Or maybe you just didn't grasp what they said because you're just getting fed by a fire hose with all this information. It's all new to all of us. So let's go. I have a rule of thumb. If you can't do it in Crocs, it can't be done. Point proven. Now don't sell these on the internet. So first off, you have a fridge outside. But if you're not paying attention and you're looking down, you can't see these little controls. So as you can tell here, you get your power button, so you can turn it on and off if you want, and then you can change and make it colder, you know, warmer, whatnot, and the settings, which I don't mess with. But you have to manually turn it on, and they're always off when they come from the factory, naturally. So and just to the left of the fridge, you have the propane quick connect. This guy connects directly into the grill right here. So here's the other end of it. And I actually, with my redneck ingenuity, was able to pull the regulator off and get these fittings to make it so it would work. So when you power on this Rockford Fosgate, you have two of these units. You have this one, and you have the one up by the fridge in the living room. Once you pair your phone, you'll be able to have control over it here. You can also just turn it up so you can hear it outside. Press and hold the button, it keeps changing through the zones. Like now I have it on all zones, so it'll play inside, outside. So here, the first thing you're gonna wanna do when you get the rig is hit the sub minus button because it's maxed out. You can also hit zone on the side and you can just select where you want it to play. But if you wanna change between different things, like I have Bluetooth on my phone, if I wanna move over to the TV garage, the TV main, that's how I do it. I just press that once and it brings me into these other screens. The FM and AM radio, which who even uses that anymore? Unless you're Matt James, because I do like 92 Moose. The only thing about that is it doesn't come with a remote, so you have to get up off the couch to adjust the sound if you want it to be a little bit louder. So when you make your popcorn, just set it to the right sound and then sit down and watch the movie. I'm underneath the front cap here, as you can tell. You're upside down, so am I. So this was one thing that I had to rely on the forums to help me with when I first got the rig. So when we first set up for the maiden voyage, I hadn't messed with the Furrion cameras yet. They come with the Model G, and I thought I'd have to kind of program it. But ironically, they actually had it all pre-programmed for me. All the cameras were already set up on the Furrion, but I didn't know that because I couldn't get it to work. And that's because in the front cap here, you can see you have your disconnects for your batteries. So you got your solar disconnect on the bottom here, and you got your just regular main disconnect from your battery. But if you look up here, camera power. So I just turned them off. They've been on forever. You need to have this up for it to work. So that's a quick tip that you're gonna like. So this is right inside the storage area on the driver's side of the Brinkley. So you can see here, you got this big control unit. They'll show you how to use this thing when you buy it, but as you can tell, it just has an up or down for the hitch, auto level, the hitch height, and retract all. Obviously, if you're in a jam and you got to lift one side of the RV up, you can't do it from here. So I'm going to show you how the Nautilus water hook works. And I know this is kind of standard for a lot of different RVs. If you've been in this community for a long time, you already know how this works, but I'm just going to give you a quick little intro for the ones that have never seen it before. Why not? Hang on. Cummins. Oh no, it was a Ford. Hang on. Boys are off work now. It literally has a color code for which way these need to be to make it work. So like here, I'm on city water right now, so I have the blue going left, the green going left, and the white going down. But one tip that you need to remember is if you are dry camping, you need to have it in this configuration, which is just moving the green up. And then you can turn your water pump on either right here or on your phone or on any other thing. But you need to have it like that or else it will not pull water from the tank. These are the old let her sing switches. You literally just go down to close, up to open, so you can dump the old stinky. So I'm not gonna get into it too much on this video about how to hook up. Oh, dang it. So I'm not really gonna get into detail on how to hook up right now because guess what? I need material for next week's video. So we're gonna be moving here pretty quick and I'll do a whole video on how to hook this baby up, which is standard pretty much to everything, but it does have this power reel, which I think I've talked about in a prior video. But hey, if you're new here and subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I'm having fun. Are you having fun? See here, she's rugged, but there's a way to, you gotta finagle it sometimes to get it to work. You gotta give it a little love, you know what I mean? Sometimes a little love might be a hammer, but it does a trick. Actually, you're gonna love this one. So this is a tip that is not related to the Brinkley, but if you ever think that maybe there's just some toddler or something just knocking on the side of your RV, it actually is not. And with a 99-cent fix, the problem is solved. So this stinky cap will just sit on this and just swing and bang and clunk against this jack, hence why it's bungee corded up. Redneck tip number 2. Little happy dog. There's a little storage in the back here, I'm in the garage, that has the ladders. So if you buy one of these, you might wonder, well, how am I going to get up there? You know, where are these things? Well, you wouldn't know it. So you might just look at this and think, oh boy, that's just a wicked cool liquor cabinet. But really, that's where your ladders are to get up in the loft and to the bunk. And those are my straps for when I strap down the bikes on travel days. So here's the home screen, and I'm hoping that you can see this pretty well. Let's pause for a minute so I can check. The HVAC. Now, if you come over here, you'll see that you have bedroom and your garage. They both look identical. You have, heat and cool, because in the G models, you have heat pumps in all 3 of your ACs, so they do heat and AC. But one of the tricks and tips that we found on this, when we go to bed at night, we will take this and put it on fan low, put it on cool, and select the temperature you want it to stay on. Now you're gonna notice this. These AC units are relatively loud. It won't kick the whole unit off and on. It just kicks the compressor on, and it's so quiet that you can't really tell a difference. So on our very first day, it wouldn't level. It would just because of the way where I parked on my grandmother's lawn, it was too uneven, and the leveling system would bottom out and it would not automatically bring itself back up. I was stuck because there's only a couple different buttons on it. It doesn't have all of the buttons like my old one. And then that's when I came inside here and said, well, let me look at this and see if there's a function on this, which there is. So you come in here, level up leveler. Now you can see here, there's a blue dot in the middle. It'll tell you that it's level. Now, if you have an issue where it's not leveling correctly, you can come over here to hit manual level, and you can individually move the corners and the sides. This right here, I wish they would have showed me, because I did not. They just said, oh, all you do is hit the auto level and you're done. Which is true, because that's all you usually have to do if you're on a somewhat level surface. The other tip is, if you do have the generator, some of them don't, you can order a G or even a Model Z without the generator. I'm not gonna touch the generator button on the screen. If you touch the generator button, even though it has a little arrow, if you can see the arrow, it still starts the generator every time. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the generator. So you can see here, when we boondock overnight, sometimes if it's cold and I'm using the fan a lot with the propane, chews up the batteries, and we might not make it all night on the 2 100 amp hour batteries that we have. So you want to go to voltage, and you can actually set it to kick on. I've tried a few of these different settings, but if you let it get too low, if it gets down below 11 volts usually, it actually won't turn over the generator. The batteries won't have enough juice. A lot of that stuff is pretty easy to kind of maneuver, but if you're brand new to this, or even just thinking about getting one, you're like, oh wow, that is a lot to remember. So I hope that helps you in your endeavors on owning this Brinkley. Again, thanks for watching. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, we really appreciate it. We're growing every week, and we're having fun kind of sharing these little things with you about this Brinkley. We'll see you next week.
No matter where you're from, all around the world, it's one unique